Hi, I'm Steph. Welcome to my channel From Scratchee with Steph, where tonight we're going to be making flour tortillas. This recipe is my favorite tortilla recipe to make, and it's like the chubby best buddy of the core tortillas video. So if you haven't seen that yet, please go check it out. If you enjoy this video, don't hesitate to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay? We're all ready to get started, and as usual, I'm going to get all of my dry ingredients together and then start adding wet ingredients. This might be a major plot twist for you, but I like to use a bit of masa in my flour tortillas, and to be honest, this is more my go-to tortilla than either regular full-on flour tortillas or corn tortillas. I love that I can incorporate a little bit of masa into a flour tortilla and have that texture and pliability of a flour tortilla along with the meltiness that you get from the shortening. And you can still have that little bit of grainy crunch and corn goodness that you get from a corn tortilla. Another surprise ingredient that goes into flour tortillas is baking powder, and it's a leavener just like yeast, except not just like yeast. It's a chemical leavener. Next, we'll add some garlic, because I'm a rebel. And last, but always not least, salt. Okay, so we'll give that a little mix. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing my level 5 serial killer gloves, it's because I hate touching certain things with my skin on my hands. One of them is raw meat. Whenever I'm handling raw meat, you'll always see me wear gloves. It's not because I'm super sanitary, even though that's part of the reason. It's because I don't like to touch it. Today's ingredient is shortening. Shortening is the secret to melt in your mouth tortillas, but it's not the best kept secret. Vegetable shortening is actually my From Scratchee secret replacement ingredient for the actual secret ingredient, which is lard. Using vegetable shortening keeps the flour tortillas completely vegetarian, and in my case specifically, I don't eat pork, so no lard. That said, if you do eat pork, do yourself a favor. Don't substitute, get lard. Like, lard is where it's at. I would also like to take a moment to praise myself for talking so openly about lard while not making any self-deprecating jokes, unless this counts as one. Once I put that shortening in, I'm gonna bury it like it's in a little sandcastle, and I'm just gonna work it into the flour. And you just want to really get it in there, and you'll see it form like little crumbles. It starts as a blob, and then as you start to separate it, it will make little crummies in the bowl, and that's what we want to see. As the shortening works in, you'll get to a point where you can pretty much pick up any piece of flour, any chunk of dry ingredient in the mixture, and pull it out and just give it a little squeeze, and it'll make a nice fun little chunk. This is like the best, it's like a treasure trove of fat jokes, and I'm not making them because I value myself at every size. Okay, so I feel good about that. The next thing that we'll add is the hot water, and this hot water, unlike some of our more finicky hot water recipes, it can be just pretty much as hot as your tap will go. Most taps are set to 120. I recommend reserving just a little bit just so that you don't wind up with dough that's too moist. Oh, before I forget, look in the description box. There is a recipe companion waiting for you for free that will have you all set when it's time to make dinner. After just a few minutes, it forms a really nice little ball. This one is pretty much identical to Play-Doh. So just like in our pizza recipe, which I hope you've checked out by the way, we're gonna put a little wet nappy, pa-ching, right over the top, and then we'll set this guy aside for about 15 to 20 minutes to let all of those ingredients meld together, and then we'll be back. I like to use just a large non-stick skillet for flour tortillas, but it's definitely a choose your own adventure. One of the main little cheat accessories though that I highly recommend having to save you some time and heartache is a gallon size zippy bag, and all you have to do is cut the top off, and then you'll cut down the sides. Just like that. So now you have a nice little spot to nestle your tortilla. If you're using a tortilla press, you just take your little dough ball and pop it in there. And press and turn. I turn the heat on my stove before I start pressing my first tortilla so that it's hot and ready to go when I am. And the heat should be around medium to medium high. It's going to depend on the type of pan that you use and also your stove, of course. But in my experience, flour tortillas brown just a little easier and a little faster than corn tortillas. Okay, so I've got my flour tortilla ready to go, and I just pop it in there and let it hang out. As the corn tortilla cooks, you'll see the edges start to curl a little bit, and then when you flip it, you'll see that there are a few like little brown spots, and you can let those deepen if you'd like. It's all personal preference. Okay, I'm calling this one. Once your tortilla is done, you want to pop it into a little fabric towel snuggle sack with its friends, and that little bit of steam that's generated keeps them nice and pliable and ready for action when dinner is ready. I hope you enjoyed this video on flour tortillas. Please come back again. I'm here every Friday between afternoon and evening. I'm late to a lot of things, so I don't set a time. But Friday night date, you and me, from Scratchee. I might have better jokes. Probably not.